I'm in London, LA, like it's both my ends. All these M's.
So, guys, we started a podcast.
All right. Here we go.
Oh, here we go. This is terrifying, but yes. All right. Well, I think we want to start out by introing who we are. I'm Kaylia Rhodes, and I am a national level bikini competitor in the NPC. And I have been competing since 2017. I've done 3 preps and 3 improvement seasons. And I typically take kind of like a longer improvement season in between. And then I also am the owner of Performance Posing. So I'm a posing coach. And I have myself who does bikini, and then Lexi, who's our wellness posing coach. And so I do that. That's what I do for work, is posing coaching. And I've done that for the last 2.5 years now. Prior to that, I worked in corporate. I worked in HR. And I'm a wife. So I've been married to my husband for forever. I think 10 years. This August is 10 years. Yes. 10 years.
Congrats.
Together for 13, 14 years or something like that. But yes, and then I have 2 doggies. I'm a dog mom, Stanley and Sterling, my golden retriever boys. So, I've competed. I think I've done 9 shows, 10. I think that this is going to be my 10th show. So I've done 9 shows, handful of regional, and then 2 national shows, and placed in second call-outs, like the top of second call-outs at my national shows. So this next run is the fight for first call-outs for me, and then trying to get that pro card. But yeah, I think that's a little about me.
All right. So thanks for your intro, Kaylia. I'm Lauren Kralovec. I am an IFBB pro. I started competing, in 2017. And then I turned pro in 2021 at Olympia Amateur. And I have done, I counted 19 shows now.
19.
Oh my gosh.
I couldn't believe that it's been that many, but I guess I can't stop. I work full time in sales, but hobby, we live to work or work to live. So it pays the bills, and I love competing. I've been with my boyfriend for almost 4 years, and I have a little Pomeranian named Lily. And I don't know. What else about me?
A lot of dog walks together.
Yeah, all the steps with all the dogs, right?
Yes, I just adopted actually, maybe 6 months ago. No, actually, it's almost been a year. My dog's name is Duke, and he is a combination of everything. Akita and Labrador and just everything. But my name is Stephanie Warden, and I have been competing since 2018. I'm originally Canadian, so my first couple shows were actually in Canada. And then I moved to the States for optometry school. I won my pro card in 2023 at Universe. And I don't know how many shows I've done. I want to say 15, I think, somewhere in there, maybe 12 to 15, something like that. But it's been incredible, I guess, just in recent years, having become a pro. It's been super exciting doing my pro debut at the end of last year at the Hawaii Pro. I won 4th place, and so I'm really trying to stay in first callouts this year. It's going to be my first pro season, and hopefully that's qualification. Yeah.
Fighting
We'll
for
see.
that.
Right?
But I'm married as well. My husband Zach is also an optometrist and part-time bikini husband.
Aren't they all?
Right. But we all met. I'm the newest, I think, to the Idaho group in general.
Lo and I met in 2018?
2019.
2019.
Actually, at
Okay. Cascadian Classic. Yes.
in
That
Bend.
that was my second season competing. Yeah.
Are you guys both living here then?
No.
I lived
So by
in
the way,
Portland.
we live in Idaho. This is
Yeah.
because so
that's
we
true.
live in Meridian,
This is
Boise,
Idaho.
Idaho area. So that's where we're all 3 located. And I've lived here for the past 16, 17 something years. So I'm the one that's been here the longest. And you were in Oregon?
Yeah, I grew up in near Portland,
Mhm.
and then I just moved here actually this month 4 years ago.
Wow.
So yeah, I moved here in 2020.
Yeah. So we're in the Northwest area. And so typically when we're doing shows, we run it in the Oregon, Washington, Idaho area. Competitors all run into each other and see each other at shows. And so that's how Lo and I met. I think, did we find each other on Instagram first?
Yeah.
Was that?
I think I was doing the whole
Yeah.
stalking who's in your upcoming show,
Yeah.
and I was looking for who was going to be in my class.
Which we
and-
don't do anymore.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Every first time competitor or beginning competitor does that though. And then you just get over it and
Yeah.
you're kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
And so we're the same height, and
Yep.
so we were in the same class. And when the roster came out for Cascadian Classic, I was looking who's going to be in there, and found you on Instagram, and then I met you, I think at check-ins or backstage.
Yeah.
And then back-to-back weeks, we did the Idaho show that next week, the first week of June in 2019.
Yeah, we did 2 shows back to back, and then
yeah.
you came to dinner with us after, right? That was
Yeah.
the idea. That
You
was
guys
the
invited
Idaho
me to dinner, and I still lived in Portland.
Yeah.
So I was 2019. I didn't move here for another year almost.
Mhm.
And then Steph, when did you move to Idaho?
I moved in 2022, maybe 2021. I think I've been here for 2.5 years. 2.5 years or so. So it's I'm still pretty new.
Yeah.
Still
I
pretty
think
new.
you guys met first.
Yes. I think
Because-
yes.
Yeah.
The first
Online.
time I saw you, I was doing trophies at the Idaho show, and you were on stage.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, who is
Oh,
this
when you
girl?
competed in the
Yes, I
Yeah.
competed at Idaho Cup in 2021.
Oh.
And I was like, who is this girl? She looks
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh gosh.
I have never seen her before. Who is she?
Right? You're like, how have you lived
'Cause
in
you were
Pacific
new to
Northwest and
town
competed?
and compete. Yeah.
Yeah, but Lauren and I used to go. We didn't know this, but we used to work out at the same gym when I was in school in Portland, and then I think I just missed you because you just moved to Idaho when I
Oh.
was So it's kind of cool. It's kind of just like a
full
close
circle,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So
funny.
no,
Overlaps.
yeah.
It's a
Right?
small world. It's a small
Mhm.
world all in the Northwest here.
Yeah.
All the way up to Canada, apparently.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. But no, it's I think we've really connected, and it's been
Well, how did you guys
just
actually
really
meet?
good. I forced myself. I was like, "Hey, Kaylia, be my friend." I like brought her these little muffins, and I was because I love to bake. So if I love you, you've received baking from me.
Yes, I
Right?
received your
This is
baking
true,
too.
right? Like just trying to make everyone not as lean as me. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I brought her muffins, and I think you were just starting performance posing.
I think I was just starting.
Like I don't even know if you called it performance
I don't even
posing.
think I had performance posing yet. I was
No.
just helping with posing at the gym,
Yeah.
the local gym,
Yeah.
and and you were That's I think how we met was at the gym.
Yeah. And I was
And-
like, I'll just do this posing class. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
we
no
just,
one,
like-
and I think I was getting ready for nationals at the time.
I think you were in. You
'cause
were.
I remember
Yep.
being the only one in a bikini. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. But no, it was really good. And then Mecca moved to the bigger location, and then
And we all started working out there regularly.
yeah.
seeing each other.
And then I met
and
then I met Lauren. I don't even remember
like how that.
exactly how I met you.
But was it one of my posing classes? No, maybe probably knew
Was
each
it
other
your prep?
before that.
Did you go to
Ye-
Utah?
No, you went to Brick's Tavern after the show.
Oh,
But I met you literally the day I
That's
saw
right.
you on stage.
That's right. Okay.
And I
okay,
met you
okay.
at Brick's Tavern
That's right.
eating your post-show meal.
Oh yeah, and then, you were
Oh.
making fun of me because I had grilled chicken and
Yeah.
just like a side of fries.
Yes, fries.
I just love fries. So I had grilled
She
chicken
always
and
wants
salad.
fries.
Yeah, I had grilled chicken and salad, and just like, can I have a side of fries? And you're like, this is what you're having, and I'm like,
I was
yep.
like, where's your burger?
I know, I didn't want a burger. I'm so bad.
I
No,
was
we're
like,
not
this
talking about the
girl's
burger.
great. And Zach was there, your husband was
Yes,
there.
Zach was
And I
there.
think you were there.
Yeah, I was there.
Mhm.
I think.
I think you had a couple
Was Ronnie
clients in
there?
that show.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
some clients there. So yeah, we all just met up at the
The-
restaurant afterwards.
After
and,
the show. And I think
and
that's when we
that's-
all actually were in this first
Yep.
in the same
Yeah.
place together.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then just over time working out at the same gyms,
Yeah.
having overlapping coaches and trainers and
Yeah.
Mhm.
all that.
Dog walks and hot works.
Yeah,
and
we started
sauna
doing all the prep
dates.
activities. Well, I
Yes.
wasn't in prep at the time.
No,
I was
but
in
I
the
made
longest
you.
off season ever. 2 years. But I did all the
so-
steps.
Right?
Hot works.
Yeah.
I think that actually brings us to kind of like why we decided to start this podcast.
Yeah.
We keep meeting up and having girl dates, you know, in prep where we're like, all right, let's go get all the steps. Let's go do all the walks, or let's sit in the sauna for 2 hours instead of 30 minutes just because we can't stop talking.
Yeah.
But then I think on all of those conversations, we just end up all talking about our different experiences in prep and life and
Well,
have
like
relationships while we're competing and
shows,
things like that.
we would always talk about like the shows that were coming up, or like the shows that had just happened, and like looking at the competitors together and like critiquing them together, and like applying it to our physiques and like our own posing or whatever. And so we constantly found ourselves like just talking about the sport, but talking about doing our lives and doing the sport. And so
there's a lot of positivity around, you know, us hanging out. At least I found I was super energized after talking to you, as we were always kind of improving ourselves, I think, or working on improvements, whether it was something in life or a relationship. We were always just very, you know, positive and just moving forward and how can we get better.
Yeah.
We're all very
and
driven.
sharing like we really, I think three do a good job of like, we all do things differently.
Very.
But we all feel so comfortable to just share our best practices and like, look what we're doing, look what I'm doing, look what what works for us. And then like, there's no judgment. There's just like, it's just like, oh, really? Tell me more about that. Or like,
or
I don't
consider
know,
this.
Or consider that. Yes, consider that. And so we just have always, I think, felt comfortable just being who we are.
Yeah. And it's changed throughout our like journey and everything. If I think about like you and cardio, you were always like an afternoon, evening cardio person. And I was always super morning cardio. And then, you know, as you got deeper in your prep, you're like, I actually need this morning cardio.
I need morning cardio. I'm now a morning cardio fan. If I have to do it in the evening, I'm grumpy.
Right? And that used to be me. Like, that is me.
Well, and then as we like discovered how like kind of like relatable or differences in all the different things that we talked about, we just would sit there, and I think at the end of our conversations we're like, we should record this because
the content. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but even like our younger selves would have loved this. That's what I always thought. Or my younger self or younger competing self would have loved to know this. Like just even knowing that someone you know, went through the same struggles as I did, or thought the same way or felt the same way, I think is super just inclusive.
Exactly. Or like just even someone who is starting out their fitness journey or their competing journey being like, they would love to hear this because there's so many different ways to approach the exact same thing. Like we're all like stepping on stage, but we approach it with so much different experience behind us, so many different approaches, so many different coaches aspects, so many different ways to do it that we're like, other people would love to hear this too, because I love hearing how you do it, and I love hearing how you do it.
Yeah, things stick differently with different people. So like how we communicate, or how like we do things or say things, or how I think is individual to how you guys think or say, like, and that's gonna resonate with like other people that like I know when I listen to podcasts and things, you know, I'm like I listen to people like, oh, I like that. I like how you think. I like how you, and so then you learn from that and you just take those bits and pieces, and so it's just it's a fun way that we wanted to share.
I've learned from all of you guys, just in like how you do something or even measure something, like measuring your bananas.
The bananas.
I'm like, what? I'm like,
no, people that don't measure bananas, they just track it as one banana.
Oh, but you don't know how many grams it is.
Exactly.
Like the
top Olympians are just doing one banana.
No,
and like that's how they track it. I saw this girl like one banana and just puts it in the blender, and I'm like, you didn't weigh it? Like,
right.
And I'm over here like, that could be from like 100 grams to 140 grams, and that's way anyways. That's where she's.
Is it a large banana?
Is it? Yes.
Well, actually, even the grocery store makes you weigh. Like if you buy bananas, you can't just buy bananas. No, you have to weigh it.
Yeah.
We should find out who this girl is.
Extra carbs that you're either not getting or you are getting.
Yeah.
Can't. My brain was like,
you're running up to her after stage. It was because of that banana. No, you didn't weigh your bananas.
It's like the random little things like that. Just like, even like, I think we've all been assigned cardio differently too. Like,
oh yeah.
I had no idea people only timed it when they were doing it a certain heart rate, because my first coaches, it was always just minutes. And some people do it by calories, and some people do it by how many minutes at a certain heart rate. And cardio is not just cardio.
Yeah.
I've always been a heart rate girl. And then this prep, it was more about the minutes and like breaking a sweat, like the intensity. And now we're kind of applying some heart rate stuff as we get deeper, and we have to be a little bit more detailed with those kinds of things. But yeah, just learning that there's different ways of doing it, and we all like end up at the same goal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I found out that you can actually work too hard during cardio. And so the heart rate of 170.
isn't that some nice feedback to receive?
Yeah,
Oh, I can calm
kinda.
down.
I can calm down a little bit, right? Because apparently heart rate between 160 and 170 is not the goal
Not what we
always.
want.
So yeah, no, I think we've learned a lot, even like my last two preps, and just how to approach cardio, and that it's not necessarily burn, as I don't
Running
know, I
yourself
always
into the
thought.
ground.
I always
It's
thought
not
it was
necessarily that.
yeah.
But
It kind of shows how like there's different ways to go about this. There's different ways how
Mhm.
this could be altered and it could be done. And as long as somebody can take something from here
Mhm.
and apply it to themselves and it works, it's great.
Yes.
and I think we're gonna dive more into that kind of stuff, like all
Yeah.
the differences. You know, we have like a plethora of
Yes.
ideas and things you want to talk
Stories
about.
and
But
details.
I think like, you know, for me, kind of to circle back, like why I really wanted to do a podcast, especially with these two, is just you know, I wanted, number one, it's a personal goal for me. I had like a podcast idea probably like a year ago, but I knew I would do it by myself, because I knew I wanted like a buddy.
Mhm.
But I wanted just a way to share who I am in a more comfortable like method. So I'm not like the typical like TikToker or a vlogger that's
Mhm.
gonna be like making that kind of content and sharing that kind of content about me,
Mhm.
but like sitting down and talking and explaining things and just sharing who I am and what I do and bouncing it off with friends. That's where I'm more comfortable. And so I felt like a podcast was like kind of a perfect platform to like just get out and share more about me. Share not just about me, but share this information to, like we've talked about, new competitors. Like new competitors love, like we all remember being new competitors. We love soaking up that information, and just not even just soaking up information, I think, but like helping, like learning how to like think differently in order to get through those hard parts of competing, whether it's improvement season or prep. There's always like there's something that's hard.
Mhm.
And so learning different mindsets and different ideas and different ways that people get through those different things, like helps them train their brains and their, you know, in order to get through it themselves, or gives them tools to work through. So that's kind of just, you know, a reason why I wanted to do this with you guys is
Which is exactly what we were doing when we were just hanging out anyway. So
Yeah.
why not
Mhm.
hang out with a couple of microphones?
Right.
hang out with the world. We're hanging
Right.
out with the world,
Exactly.
guys.
We're hanging out with
guys,
you.
we're hanging out with the world.
right now you're hanging out with us.
And I've thought about it a lot since we've kind of been doing, you know, some prep work and making sure we got this all set up. And I'm like, okay, well, why do I want to contribute to this? Like, I love hanging with you guys and chatting and finding the experiences and sharing that. But it's like, for me, it means a lot to impact someone else's journey. Like, you know, the sport is so individual, but at the same time, from your experiences and you sharing your experiences, you could either inspire someone, impact someone, and help them in a positive way. Why wouldn't you want to like give back to that? Because that's something I feel like is really important to me. Even when I come to one of the posing class session, when you do group posing classes for performance posing, Steph and I come and assistant coach and help out. And for me, like what I get out of it is that I absolutely love seeing people grow from it and being like, my experience on stage is helping someone else start their journey to stage. And I feel like sharing things like this is a platform for me to do that in other ways and maybe even reach more people and impact more people in a positive way. And I feel like giving back like that is this is just a huge opportunity to do that.
That's like something we've talked about before, is that this sport can be done in a positive way. And I think sometimes it gets a bad rap, or people didn't have a good experience, unfortunately, for whatever reason, and then that experience is spread. And so we want to just be another voice that shares like how it can be done in a positive, healthy like way, and what that looks like, so that people kind of, I think, can know what to try to achieve in order to still do it, but have a fun doing it. Because
Yeah.
like I have fun, and don't get me wrong, this
Yeah.
is hard, and we're gonna all talk about how
Yeah,
hard this sport
hard.
is. But like we're still at the end of the day having fun doing it, and we're coming back to waking up and doing it every day.
Again,
and so
right?
again and again and again. So it's like I want to like communicate and share
Yeah.
and show how it can be done with a smile on your face
Mhm.
and wake up and have fun doing it every day and be proud of yourself,
Yeah.
that you're accomplishing this hard thing. Like, and so that kind of the same as you, but like also I want people to know that it can be like, you can have fun doing
And
it.
the longevity of the sport too, because it
Mhm.
leads into the fact that it's not like none of us have been just a one and done or
Nope.
you know, a couple years or whatnot. So I think a lot of the things that we have, I guess, picked up with different preps, different coaches has, I think, really helped us be like long-term athletes. And so I think I agree with you in terms of impacting others and inspiring newer athletes to continue or to, you know, watch for these red flags or, you know, maybe change little things that they do about it so that it is a positive experience for them. So that's a huge thing for me too, is, you know, being able to give back and also being able to share who we are authentically, and just kind of create more community. I think it's a lot about community and building, you know, female fitness community and that kind of thing in bikini, because yeah, you know, it's
because we
it's really
technically
impactful for our
we
lives.
all like at one point we were all competing together. Now
Yeah.
you guys are in the pro league, but you're competing together.
Mhm.
And like so it's competitive and we're all competing together, and like technically like we're all competition, but like that's not how we look at it.
No.
Like we're
No.
friends
Yeah.
and we're all just encouraging each other to like to have success in the sport, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
And it's not, we don't look at each other like
It's
competition.
Because at the end of the day, it's really you versus you. And I've found that there's been a lot of life lessons that I've learned from bodybuilding and from competing that I've transferred over to my real life.
Well, this sport is probably one of the only sports that it is your whole lifestyle.
Yeah.
Your food matters, your water matters, your sodium matters, your fiber
sleep.
matters, your sleep matters,
Mhm.
your recovery matters more in so many different ways. A lot of sports, just to put it as like an analogy, like you could be a top level pro athlete in some sport and you eat a chocolate cake a week before your big race or competition, it doesn't matter.
Fine.
For
Yeah.
us, that would be devastating.
Mhm.
And so it's something that like I think people don't realize how whole life encompassing it is. So if you don't make this choice and this lifestyle to be positive, it can be consuming.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the sports that just literally is your whole lifestyle if you want to do it well and do it right. And so
Mhm.
I think it's something that like maybe needs more support and community than even other sports,
Mhm.
just because it does do so many
Yeah.
parts
and it
of your
can get
life.
lonely too if it's not, you know, when I was competing through school, that was definitely one of the most lonely times for me, just because, you know, I didn't have as much of a community around me because I was in school. And, I do remember that, and I remember that it was nice to kind of tune into different podcasts that I listened to, or different coaches, or talking to different athletes. It kind of helped me stay grounded as well, because I think the sport can get lonely at points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's good to build those, you know, I'm super grateful that I have the relationships I do with you guys and, you know, and others in the industry and in the sport, because like, I mean, we're in a group chat and I'll text you if I'm like I'm deep into prep right now. We
Yeah.
compete next weekend. And so,
Yes, good
but they'll be like, there has been some like, oh my God, I am not like, my weight is this and my digestion is that, I don't know, whatever,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah,
going on. And
yeah.
then like, they're there to vent. Like I'm not
Always
like, I
there.
don't even really need them to like give me a solution, and they do oftentimes give me like solutions or whatever, but a
We
lot
get
of
it.
it
We
is just
always have
like
the
we get
answers.
it.
We get it.
Yeah. A lot of it is just we get it, we've been there, you're fine, move on. Like it's
Yeah.
so it's like good to like, you know, this isn't my competition, this is my friend, and we do this thing together,
Yeah.
and we're here to like talk
support.
about it and support. And
Yeah, I guess that's a big one too with the podcast, is that we want to support,
yes,
you know, the industry and female competitors and
Yes.
bikini, and just having that, you know, system of supports.
yeah,
Right? The Bikini Besties.
Yeah, and you know, like there's a lot of like in this sport, like with the way things have developed, social media is so huge.
Yeah.
And podcasts and things like that, they're so big. We have so many more resources that are free and out there. But a lot of the times, everybody always just wants to post how well they're doing or be
Mhm.
impressive or a
Yeah.
way to actually get more followers. And so it's kind of nice to be able to, when you have a community, you can actually share relatable things and you're not alone. And
Right.
other things like you go through, but then you realize how much it's helped and shaped other people and how they've done it on their journey too, but look at how well they're doing now because
Yep.
they pushed through or persevered. And
Right.
I know it sounds all a little vague, but it's kind of topics that we can go into, but
Yeah.
it's just like being relating to others who have done the same thing as you.
Mhm.
And they're maybe in chapter 3 and we're in chapter 10 and you know, all the journeys in between and twists and turns, and just to see that we're all doing the same thing, just
Yeah.
in different areas and different spots.
Mhm.
That's what I think I value about us, is that we're all in such different spots, but we
Yeah.
are all still like feeling it together.
Yes. Yes.
And able to talk about all the different.
This is the first time actually since I met you guys that the three of us have been in prep at the same time.
Almost.
Well, yeah, almost, almost,
Yeah.
almost. But coming up, at least we know it's coming up.
Yeah.
So it's like,
coming.
yeah.
It was you two. One more week.
Yeah.
maybe
So I guess I can kind of.
Yeah,
What
so
are we
where
what are we
we're
doing
at,
now?
What we're
Yeah.
doing.
What are
Yeah.
we doing
Yeah.
now? Where are we right now in all of our prep journeys? Since we've always talked
You
about how
go. Or I go. You go.
I can go if you
You
want.
go.
Yeah, go.
So I
This is
switched.
fine.
So I switched coaches at the end of my last season, and I did a slow reverse and an improvement season, and I just did my lab work.
When was your
and,
last show?
My last show was September 2023.
Okay.
And
It was Sasquatch, right?
yeah, I did
Pro?
Sasquatch Pro was my last one, and then I switched coaches about 2 weeks after that.
Mhm.
And we've been reversing and maintaining for a little bit now and just adapting to being on higher calories and lower cardio. I just got my lab work back and it was amazing.
Yay.
Healthy. I'm
Nice.
super happy
Eating
about
all
that.
the foods.
Yes.
Yeah. And eating well. And so I just got the go ahead on my last check-in that this is the last week of improvement season, so we better make it count.
Yay! What an exciting text.
Right?
Yeah, it was really exciting. So I don't know what prep is how the start of that's gonna look. It's always a very exciting, but a little bit anticlimactic because it's like, okay, we'll lower your carbs by this much and let's go. And you're like, yay, same thing. I'm still eating the same thing every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so that's where I'm at. I am about half a week now. Probably next Thursday I'll start prep.
Woohoo.
Yay!
So I think by the time this
Dark
podcast comes
side.
out, I will be in prep.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yes.
so that and you.
Me.
Peak week.
Yeah, we're in peak week, I guess. It's so weird. It's so weird.
It is.
I have not. I was in a 2-year off season, so my last show was July 2021. So it's
Crazy.
been like over 2 years, and in that 2 years, I've like done posing coaching, and I've just helped all of these girls like get ready for the stage, and like
Yeah.
forgot, what it's like to like. I'm the one now that's gonna get
Getting
on
ready,
stage
yeah.
and get ready, and I have been still posing coaching and running my business, and it's been just growing so much that I've just been like just checking all the boxes with prep, but doing that.
Mhm.
And so it literally still I don't think has hit me that I go
Mhm.
on stage next weekend. Like I think when I fly out on Thursday, I'm gonna be like, and there's like no client, I'm gonna be like,
Oh my
I'm doing
gosh.
this.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I was in a 2-year off season. We constantly I did my first national run in 2021, and then when I got done, it was obvious I need to build muscle. I just need density, need the muscle. My structure, shapes there, presentation can always be better, but it was good. It's just density. So I knew I was going to take a year off, and no matter what. So we just worked calories up, constant surplus, just hard lifting in the gym, just trying to grow. And then I got to that year mark, and I just didn't feel like a year was enough for me.
Mhm.
I just knew how much muscle I needed. Also, it's a little bit of that, like, I am the type of competitor where I never feel big enough. And I'm like, I love improvement season, and I love growing. And I love prep for different reasons, but I really love improvement season and growing. And my like little insecurity, because we all have them, is just not being dense enough, not
Mhm.
being big enough. And so I never want to leave an improvement season. I'm
Right.
always scared to start a prep because I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I want more time to grow.
Mhm.
So that year came, and I was like, nope, I want more time to grow.
Yeah.
I want 3 more months.
Yeah.
And then that 3 months came. Nope, I want more time to grow. I did it 3 times. Then it was 2 years, and so, but it was worth it. I think I built a lot of muscle, and we'll find out if it's enough. I mean, we always kind of sometimes need, depending on who you are.
Yeah.
But anyway, so finally actually what happened is I got just tired of eating all the food. My food was extremely high for, I think, just me. We never did any mini cutting or any cutting phases to shed off any fat. It was just constant weight gain and surplus of food.
And I was in prep at the time, and so I remember her saying she does not want any more food. She's done with food. And when you're in prep, you're like,
how dare you? How dare you say that?
So now I remind her all the time. Whenever she's like, I'm hungry, I'm like, but remember that time you were done with food?
Yeah, I was over it for months, like probably 3 or 4 months at the end. I was just, food was. So when I got to that, I was like, okay, I'm ready to start. And then, finally started prep. And in mid-July of 2023, we're in 2024. Yeah, 2023 is when I started like cleaning up the diet. So like kind of like a pre-prep, 4 weeks of just no more untracked meals, no more just structured cardio, structured steps, structured eating. And then I shut off like 5 pounds, and then we really started prep. But then I had a coaching change, and so I was with my previous coach for like 6 years. So long time. We built the competitor I am, like just a long established relationship. And then there was a change, and started with a new coach. And so at the beginning, which was kind of perfect timing, it was at the beginning of my prep, and it was a perfect time. And it all new coaching strategy, coaching methods. I'm with Paul Ravella and Team Pro Physique, and just all new. I love it. I'm super happy. It's when you're with the same person for 6 years and now something else, it's just been like I feel like a little newbie again.
Yes.
Like I literally
It's exciting.
it's like exciting. I literally just put like a newbie hat on, and I'm like, I'm just a new competitor again. I'm not experienced at all. This isn't my 10th show. And so I just am taking it with like I'm new, and everything that comes, it's just like a whole new experience. And so I've been really prepping since August. It's been kind of a long what's that, 4 and 5, 6 months of prep now. I had a lot of weight to shed off. So we got like 40 pounds up from my previous stage weight. And so I had a lot of weight to shed off. I've shed off about 25, 26, 7 pounds now. So we'll be going on stage like 10 pounds heavier, 10 plus pounds heavier. So I compete at Legends Classic next weekend in Vegas.
Woo!
And that's my warm-up show. I have to requalify. So, when you don't compete for it's been too long. So I have to requalify and get my national qualification again. So we're doing that next weekend. And then as long as that goes well, 2 weeks later, I will be going to Arnold Amateur for my first national show since... Yeah.
Yes. She'll be going. I bought my tickets already, so we're going.
It's terrifying. Okay.
We're going.
So Arnold Amateur that's the big show. I'm excited for it. I think it's a good strategic move, national show wise for me. And it's the very first national show of the year, and it's tends to be kind of smaller, and just so I think it's a good move. That's what I'm gonna do. And then from there we'll see. We're going to see what happens. If I go pro, then I'll probably find some kind of pro debut show to do. And then see what the feedback is. If we need to fight for more national shows, I'll take a little tiny mini reverse break for a month or two while I get ready for the main like national shows, which are like the Junior USA's, Junior
May
Nats,
to July.
May
to
June, July. I would like to be done, depending on how the season goes. I'd like to be done by July. And in order for the rest of the year to go back into a mini like an improvement season for the rest of the year and to come back in 2025. But we'll see. I mean, I'm the type where if there's progression, if I'm in first call outs and if we're progressing, I will keep going.
Oh yeah,
because you kind of have to at the national level.
Absolutely.
At any level. I mean, but like if you're progressing, I'm just gonna keep going because at any show it could be your time.
Yeah, there's hardly anything separating first to fifth in that first call out. You really like there's just
it could be little
little things. Yeah.
And so I'll keep going until we're just staying the same, and judges are like, no, you need to grow or whatever it is, or if I'm regressing, then I'll stop. And but so that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. It's been so long since you've been on stage. I'm just really excited to see it.
Yes.
excited to do
Flo
Light
and
up the
Steph. Did you
stage.
guys say who your guys' coach was?
I
No,
didn't.
we didn't get there yet.
Yeah,
No.
say your coach.
I guess I just did say that I switched coaches this year. I switched to Neil Cash. I'm really excited to be on Team Cash this year. And yeah, we're starting prep, but we have not set out a schedule yet. I don't know what prep's going to look like. Typically, I've always done over 20 weeks, but my body composition is better than it's ever been.
Amazing.
My cardio's lower than it's ever been. I literally do 20 minutes and I'm like, what? That's it? Okay, I thought I was warming up, but we're good. So I'm in a whole different space this year. I feel very healthy. I feel very confident. I feel like I have more muscle than I've ever had. So it's going to be a big year with the biggest goals I've ever set. Last year, my goal was to get top 5 at a pro show, and we did that. So obviously the
Yes.
goal moves up from there.
Mhm.
New
Um,
goals.
New goals.
the big
Olympia.
goals.
Yes.
So I'm really excited about that. And I think this year for me, I'm going to let Cash pick my shows or work with him and collaborate on more strategic picking.
Mhm.
I feel like on the pro level, it's a little laid out differently. With bikini, there's pro shows every weekend.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a little different than like the national schedule where you have very set weekends and opportunities to get your pro card.
Mhm.
Where in the pro level, it needs to be a little bit more strategic. Like, are you getting known? How many shows are you going to do? Are you progressing or regressing? And so that's another reason I changed coaches. I was ready for someone who was really involved in the pro circuit and just being able to help me with that strategic choosing of shows
Mhm.
and where we're going to go from there. So I'm excited to kind of just put my trust in the plan. That's not just me controlling everything.
Yeah.
And kind of go from
Be the
there.
athlete.
Yeah.
You should just we're just gonna be the athlete.
Be
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
athlete.
Get led. Yeah.
So Steph, also, where
yeah.
are you at in prep this year?
So I did also change coaches.
All 3 of us.
We all
Yeah,
went
we all
together, too,
did.
which was like
And then
around
we-
the same
right?
time.
God,
And then we
like,
picked 3 different people, but we all liked each other's coaches too, which was kind of
Yes.
funny too, because we all like,
I
you
have
know,
a lot of respect.
And it was
for
all
of them.
coincidence.
Mhm.
It wasn't even like we all had different reasons for switching. We all
Yeah.
had different personal things that were going on in our lives. It
Mhm.
just happened.
it just
It
happened.
happened.
For
It did.
me. Yeah, for me, I had a coach when I got my pro card who was a little bit more experienced with the national stage and regional athletes. And so after winning my pro card, I really, really wanted to compete as a pro and really go for that O qualification. So I switched mainly because I wanted someone with more experience with pros, working with pros, and
Mhm.
developing athletes to the Olympia level, which I think is absolutely fair. So I hired Shane Hughley, and now I'm a part of Team Hughley. We've done 1 show together. I did after winning my pro card in June. I had maybe like a 6-week kind of break. It was super short, way too short. But my main reason, because a lot of people questioned, why I jumped back into a prep, and for me, it was because I wanted to see my physique next to pro athletes, because I
like that.
didn't want to go into an improvement season improving on what I thought was fake kind of feedback, because you don't really know. You can put a picture next to it, but it's not. I don't think it's the same. So I really just didn't want to waste time, and so I jumped into the prep. It was tough. It really was tough pushing myself, because mentally I was a little bit more burnt out, because I'd done, I think, Arnold's 3 national shows that year. No, I did
You did
Arnold,
4.
Wasatch, Junior USA's, and then Universe.
Yeah.
So I did 3.
Universe was your 4th one.
Yeah, so I did 4 shows, 3 national shows. So it was a lot. So yeah, it did take a little bit more of a push, but what pushed me was, 1, it was in Hawaii, which I had never been to. And so that was awesome. And 2, my family hadn't seen me compete for 4 to 5 years, because I'd been in school. And so it was the first time they got to see me. It was my pro debut. And so that's what really mentally pushed me to do that. And so we placed better than I thought. I really was going for a top 10 finish, but we ended up top 5. So I was very, very excited. It was awesome. And so it really fueled me. And Shane and I worked so, so well together. I'm the kind of athlete, I guess, that just, you tell me what to do, and I will execute. I guess for me, Shane is amazing at letting me know why we're doing certain things. Because like I said, we changed cardio quite drastically. I was a stair girl way
Same.
before that, and now I'm
Now we're
a
incline walking
walk-in
girls.
treadmill. Oh my god, till my feet fall off.
Thousands of steps we will be getting in our lifetime.
Right? And so that was a huge change for me. And so he explained that, and it's been great to kind of just be able to communicate with a coach respectfully and openly, and there being no kind of subtext or what did he mean by this and that kind of thing. I think one weird thing is that when I first hired Shane, the one thing I told him was that if I send a text message, I mean exactly what's I said. There's no like random emotion.
Trying to
There's
read
no
between the
emoticon.
lines.
Because when you get deep in prep, it's really hard sometimes when you're talking to a coach to be like, oh no, this is what I meant. Do you think he means this? And so I'm very like, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So he was super on board with that, and he's been just amazing to be coached by. So it's been a good switch. And so now I am 6 weeks into prep. I started at the beginning of January, 6 weeks. I think it's been 6 weeks. And so I'm just hoping to be ready somewhere around April, May, to start my first pro season. So we'll see how many shows I do, right? The fight to the
Both
O.
of you this year.
The fight to the O.
I think
So
we
it'll
all
be
got
exciting, right?
super big goals, kind of like on a
Oh,
different
yeah.
level this year.
Yeah.
And all at the same time, like you said, it'll be the first time that we're all doing it at the same
We're all going to be competing.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a busy season.
You do.
Yes.
Busy.
A lot to talk about on this podcast.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
much
right?
to talk about.
A lot of obstacles,
Yeah.
successes, and and this prep is my first scaleless prep. I have
Oh,
not
that's
weighed
gonna be something
myself.
We're going to ask her more about.
Yeah, I've not
What's
weighed
that-
myself
what's that mean?
since I haven't weighed myself since my pro debut. So since November, I have
Data nerd
absolutely
over here is like
no idea what I weighed afterwards. And this
All
was just
just
a personal
pictures.
choice. And we're doing this prep by photos.
You
It's
do
not that
measurements?
yeah, I've
Oh.
done measurements. I did usually just waist and glutes. But we're using it so much more as a tool. It's not that I will never weigh myself, but once we need it, if Shane, which I really don't even think that he will ask,
Well,
but
do you think
if he
maybe
does.
once it's deeper, when the changes are
Yeah,
smaller,
or smaller
physically,
maybe, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you don't even need that though, because it is just
Yeah.
a look. Bikini is about
Yeah.
chasing.
So I don't know.
It's a
We'll
look.
see, but it's something that I really
It's
wanted to
new.
do because I found myself getting too caught up with the number a little more than I'd like.
Yeah.
As
I
I
think it's
kind of
easy to do.
Yeah. So we're gonna
Yeah.
try it and see. So maybe three, like you said, maybe 3 weeks out, 2 weeks out, 4 weeks out, something. He'll ask me, and I
Here
have
and
no
there,
problem
maybe
doing
even-
that. But it'll be less than previous preps,
Right.
and that's all I'm really going for.
That's super cool.
Yeah,
that'll be
so it'll be interesting.
That'll be. You need to remember to like share. We need
Yeah.
to remember to because that's like a lot. I think competitor women especially struggle with that, the
Yeah.
number on the scale. And so
Mhm.
if this is a tool that can be used and like you can tell us how
Yeah,
how
it
you
goes,
do it, how
right?
it goes, how it works with your coach, like how they make changes based on like the information you are giving them. I think that's going to be super cool information.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
kind of look
it'll be
forward to
kinda interesting.
seeing that over long term.
Yeah.
How much even maybe more enjoyable this prep is for
Yeah.
you, or if you're more less stressed because of it,
Mhm.
or just even kind of like how it affects
Less
your
moody.
mindset over
Less moody.
prep.
I'm
Where
burned
like
up.
someone like me, like that might be really difficult for me because like she even said data nerd over here.
Mhm.
I live in my spreadsheets and I do a daily weight as a year round,
Mhm.
even off season because I feel like if I weighed myself once a week and that one day I weighed was accidentally
The
the
high-
day I fluctuated
Yeah.
because of, I don't know, I had a pickle and my sodium went
Mhm.
up or something, which is like not calorie based.
Mhm.
And I was up 2 pounds, but that's the day I weighed myself. I would think I gained 2 pounds that week, but maybe over the average of the week, I actually maintained and was
Right.
within less than a pound change
Right.
over the whole week. And so for me, I like seeing my consistency
Yeah.
and that a fluctuation is just a fluctuation of a day
Right.
instead of like,
And I'm an in between.
where are you
No,
going?
I'm not that.
No, you're not. Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm the middle of that. If you're a lows, because I
Yeah.
weigh myself probably. Okay, well, right now at the end of the prep, and because
Prep's
we're
different.
trying to.
Yeah.
Like
Purpose.
deep
Yeah.
prep's
This
a little
diff is
different.
Yeah.
Right now, it's like every day.
Yeah.
But probably like 2-3 weeks ago and more and further, I only weighed myself like 3 times a week because I cannot stand weighing myself every day. For some reason, it's like just this, like another little task, and I'm just like, ugh. And so I just can't stand it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, hey, you get 3 days out of me. That's funny. But obviously, I'll do what my coach needs. So right now, we need it every day just because we are fighting to kind of get a certain few pounds off, and we're just really
You guys are dialing in the details.
We're dialing in some details, so weigh
Which
myself.
is
Which is when I will
might-
probably use the scale as well.
Exactly, where it
Just to
becomes
know.
more of a peaking tool versus
Yeah,
like
little
a
bit of-
Mhm.
weight loss tool.
Yeah. But just like emphasis on the tool part of it, because
Yes.
my bad experience that kind of brought me to this is that in the past I've had coaches that used relied on it to kind of figure out whether or not we were going to increase food or decrease food or increase cardio or decrease cardio, and I found that it was less on the look and more on the number. And I mean, like as I said, as being black and white, I'm like, I'm not going on stage and stepping on a scale and then the number just pops up for everyone. Like
Judges
it's
do
like
not know your body
you have
fat,
no idea.
your weight. They don't know anything like.
Right.
And judges will even say this when when we pay more attention to the sport and what judges say and everything. They have no idea how hard. I always tell this actually to new girls, like because when I tell them, like, encourage them to work on posing, is that judges have no idea how hard your prep was, how much you dieted, how much cardio you did, how many hours you were in the gym. They just know what you present them on stage.
Right.
And so bikini specifically is about a look.
Yeah.
And so when you can see that your coach is making adjustments based on just one measurement, one number, that's where it can create the bad mental habits, or the bad mental space.
Absolutely.
I think.
And when you're an amateur, sometimes I think people have to tell you, it's not a weight loss competition.
Right.
My lowest weight on stage was my worst placing on stage. The one where I was, I think, if I had to share the number, it was like, I think I was between 117 and 119, and I'm 5'6" and a half. And a half. Shortest in my family, so yeah, gotta get the half. But that was my worst placing. I think I placed 13th or 14th or something, and I think it was the show before I was 4th at nationals. And so then so when I focused a little bit more on the number and I was pushed to where I will never go again, which is the teens. I will never be in the teens again.
You have too much muscle now.
Right? Yeah. But for comparison, for reference, on my pro debut, my stage weight was closer to, I think, 127, 125, something like that. Probably 127, 128 maybe. But yeah, so it was like 10 pounds under. And so I just really stress girls, it's not a weight loss competition. Obviously, yes, when you're in prep, you are wanting that decline, but it's just one part of it. It's just one part of it.
And also, just even thinking about this, like when you shared with us that you were going to do this scaleless prep and that you weren't weighing yourself, you also had another, like, outside of prep reason why. Yeah. And I think I thought that was really inspiring, just as a woman. And so I didn't know if you wanted to share that.
Sure, I will share it. So my husband and I are wanting to have kids in the next 3 to 5 years. I feel like I've been saying that for the last 3 to 5 years.
Every year, 3 to 5 years.
Like, yeah.
Timeline gets moved, right? You get more competitive, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It's still in the future.
It'll happen. It'll happen. I'm a dog mom for now, but it'll happen. And so one thing, just as a human, I had a close friend who went through bulimia and an eating disorder, and so it's always been very, very important to me to just have a positive outlook on my body, because it is something that we have the privilege of doing. It's not something we have to do. So my big reason also of doing a scaleless prep is that as I kind of transition from competing into my lifestyle in the next couple of years here, I really didn't want, my children to see me weighing myself constantly, because it is a tool that I use for bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is extreme. It's not a lifestyle. I don't think it's not a lifestyle kind of the extreme parts of it, I don't think are conducive to like a healthy lifestyle. And so I think one of the bad habits I've kind of developed is that weighing. And so I really wanted to pull back on that so that I could, I guess, have more body positivity and just not put those extreme things on
building
children.
lifestyle habits, like
Yes.
habits
Yeah.
now that you will use in your lifestyle phase.
Right.
Bodybuilding taught you you use the bodybuilding techniques
Mhm.
to live still a healthy and fit lifestyle,
Yeah.
but dialing back the extreme
Right.
of the sport.
Of the sport.
And
Right.
learning
Because there's a
now
time
to
and
blend
place.
it, so it's not a
Right.
oh, what do I do?
Right.
I'm not competing anymore.
Right.
I don't know how to think and behave.
Right. Yeah. What do
Yeah.
I do if I'm not weighing myself every day? Like,
Yeah.
no. Right. And so, and I respect bodybuilding for, these extreme things
Yep.
are needed for me to get to stage.
Mhm.
And
So
I think you said even like setting an example
yes.
for your future daughter or
Yeah.
children, that you didn't give your worth to a number.
Right.
Like the number didn't determine if you were good or not.
yes. Or how I
it
felt
was-
about myself. Yeah.
Exactly. Your self-confidence and your self-compassion, because you were proud of yourself for your hard work in the gym, your
Mhm.
ability to have discipline in your diet, ability to push yourself to extremes.
Mhm.
And it had nothing to do with what number was on the
Mhm.
scale.
Yeah.
And so I think that was really inspiring for me too. Just even like, we always think about, well, what about when I stop competing?
Mhm.
Like, what am I going to weigh then? I
Yeah.
probably won't be maintaining the amount of muscle I'm having now.
Right.
And
Yeah. And it
a
kind of
lot of
scares
things.
people sometimes too. It's like when you don't have that like rigidity,
structure.
it's like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
something like I think I've talked about with one of you or both of you is that, and my thing is like the weighing of the food. Like,
Mhm. yeah.
So, which I don't, I am a very like on switch, off switch. Like I can just get on a scale and be like, okay, that's my number. Like, and
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. I can be very like, I cannot let it bother me, but, and with weighing food, I can too, but it's kind of a nuisance. Like having a scale and like weighing all your meals. Like
Mhm.
it's kind of annoying.
Mhm.
Like it can,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so, in my upcoming reverse, and when I do go back into an improvement season, I want to use like how you're using this prep to do a non-scale weight.
Mhm.
Not
Yeah.
weighing yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to use my next improvement season to learn how to intuitively eat, but like
Within
have a better eye with like
Yes.
and
With your
not have to,
goals.
so that way I
Yeah.
can use those behaviors when
Yeah.
I end competing, because
Yes.
there will be a moment where we just aren't as active of a competitor,
Yeah.
or we completely stop competing. But I want to know how to eyeball carbs and fats and proteins better, so I don't have to worry about the scale.
Mhm.
Like that's my like, and if I end up having children and I do not want them seeing me like
Right?
weighing
Mom, can you weigh my
every-
cracker?
No, because I'm not doing that for me, let alone a child. And I'm just like,
No, can you
so-
imagine? And your dog.
No,
And your husband.
no, not at all. So we need to build those habits now.
Yes.
Build those lifestyle habits now.
Yes.
In an improvement season where there is more of that flexibility at
Right.
this level, like trying
Yeah.
to,
Right.
um,
Because then you can bring in with bodybuilding
Yeah.
diets, like how, the portion, I think for
Yes,
girls
portion.
especially, it's like we, I think through junior high school, through like
Yeah.
high school, it was very like carb focused, carbs.
Yes.
But what I've learned is that protein is such a big building block. And so
Yeah.
for us to be able to teach our kids, portion sizes in terms
Yes.
of how much meat should be on the plate, how much, or black,
Yeah.
whatever, tofu, whatever,
whatever it is. Yeah.
vegetables and
Stuff's such
rice
in a
and so
tofu
on.
this
Yeah.
prep.
Right. Vegetarian
kidding.
prep and scaleless.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
No, that would be a lot. But
Uh,
yeah, just kind of like putting more emphasis on where to find those. Because I
Yeah.
think a lot of girls too are like, how do I fit that much protein into the day?
Yeah.
Right. And so you'd be able to show your kids kind of different food options
Yeah.
that make them strong and healthy.
Yeah.
And just being a positive role model.
Yeah.
Where it's like you're not letting maybe something that was like a personal issue for you, like your weight.
Yeah.
Like that's a big concern of women, if it's causing you to be depressed or less confident,
Mhm.
or something when it's not really
just
that
a
important.
number. It's
yeah,
just a
it's
number.
Yeah, it's not good
Yeah.
to show. So, and I also think it's really cool to be, while we're developing our skills and
Mhm.
are going along our fitness journey, to be thinking about longevity and health.
Yes.
Like I mentioned earlier, like the big, huge win of my improvement season was my lab work being healthy,
Mhm.
like having healthy hormone levels, having healthy thyroid levels, having healthy just cholesterol, having just like the major health markers, like
Mhm.
everything came back healthy again. And like that's huge for me. That means I feel like I can keep competing
Yes.
because there is
Yeah.
life after competing.
Yeah.
Yes. The
Um,
stage will always be there.
So So I think it's I think it's really cool to be able to think about those things while we're competing, because when competing isn't there for you anymore, what do you have left? You have your
Right.
family, you have your body still,
Yeah.
and
one
so
body.
and your brain, your mindset,
Yeah.
all the
That's
skills you
actually
build.
kind of to circle back to the beginning of this podcast,
Yeah.
that's actually kind of a reason for this podcast is we're all going to be done competing at some point. But I love this sport, and it brought a lot of like passion and purpose in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm a posing coach and I have my business. So if I'm done being an active competitor, I'm still involved in the sport with that. But also this podcast, like when you two are done, like this is a way, whatever we end up doing, whether, some people get into judging, some people get into coaching, some people get into posing coaching, some people, promoters. But this podcast, I think, is a cool way for us to still stay in it, no matter whether we're active or not active.
Yeah.
And like share our journey, bring on people once we're not active. Bring on people who are active in the sport, because that's something we want to do is have guests.
Yes.
And talk about not just our journeys and stuff and our mindsets and viewpoints, but other people's. And so that's like another, I think, key point is I want to find every avenue that I can to stay a part of the industry.
Yes.
Whether I'm competing or not.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's given so much to us.
So yeah, I think we really did a good job at like along our introduction, kind of diving into a few really cool topics, just to give everybody a preview, a teaser,
what we're going to talk about.
A preview of where we're going to go. When we first were brainstorming, we had like a little iPhone notes thing that we shared, and we just kept going and adding,
and it evolved into her fancy spreadsheet.
Yes, I did end up putting on a spreadsheet. I couldn't handle it not being on.
Yes, we have a podcast spreadsheet.
But I mean, our list of topics just grew and grew and grew, because
it's literally endless.
there is so much to talk about. So I think it's going to be really nice to be able to share that with everybody, and as we share our journeys along the way and how we're competing. And then, like you said, I'm really excited to bring on some guests.
Yeah.
We have a few ideas of some people we'd like to bring on. And if anybody wants to come on and share their experience, we'd love to hear from different people too, as we grow and as our podcast keeps going.
Yeah. And then hopefully, posting it, comments, questions. We would love to kind of answer as many of them as possible. What you want to know and what we can, help you with, because at the end of the day, the content is for not us, right? It's for you. So we want to hear back from you for sure.
It's for our bodybuilding community.
Yeah.
I think we'll end up doing some Q&A. Type episodes too. I love listening to those, because it's like if someone's asking the question, there's probably quite a few other people also wondering that same question.
Absolutely. Yes. So be super open. Nothing is, off bounds. Just anything. Definitely. We will tell.
We'll tell each of our separate takes on this.
Yes. And you get 3 answers. Three answers.
That's a big deal. It's a lot of valuable information.
Sold.
Yeah, exactly. Pick your why I tried.
I just want to congratulate all of us for completing our first podcast recording.
Let's go.
Yay!
Let's
So,
go.
Right?
Bikini Besties Podcast is now a reality. Episode 1. We will be posting on the Bikini Besties podcast Instagram, and also on our individual Instagrams a Q&A, so that we can get some topics rolling that you guys want to see for some of our upcoming episodes. You can follow us each individually and the Bikini Besties podcast Instagram as well. My individual Instagram handle is LoloIFBB Pro.
And mine is just Kaylia Rhodes.
And mine is Steph Ashley with 2 L's.
And create with Cody.
Yes.
Well, we'd also like to thank our brilliant producer who has actually put together our little studio, doing all of our recording, all of our editing, all of the camera work, and all of our official photography. And that's Cody. So thanks, Cody, for helping us out and being a huge part of this.
Without you.
Could not.
Representing the 208.
We have no idea what
Create with Cody, WIT. Run it up.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
And we're going to be on Spotify and YouTube.
Spotify, YouTube. We'll be throwing out some shorts and bloopers on Instagram. Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Ooh,
what
we'll
you said?
circle back.
Yeah, I'll circle
Let's
back on
not
the
commit
date.
yet.
Yeah, let's not
Just
commit.
kidding.
They're gonna hold us to it.
Yeah, we will let you know, guys, a schedule.
Yes,
Well, it's me. It's me that's doing
This
it.
is true.
You gotta show up and
this
record.
is true.
You have nothing to do
This
with
is
this.
true. We're just the
Record- oh, yeah,
talent.
Tuesday.
We're just the
Isn't that what
talent.
you said, though? Tuesday was...
Yeah.
You
I think
said
we're-
it, though.
I think
I
we're
did.
gonna- I think we're gonna get these out to you guys on Tuesdays.
Yes,
I think
yes,
Tuesday.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
All right. Well, that was fun.
Thank you,
That
guys.
fun.
It was
Next
really
time,
good.
Episode.
We're gonna talk about me competing.
Yep, she
Okay.
gets back.
I'm gonna go
I was
eat
so
now.
excited.
I have oatmeal to eat in the fridge.
We're done.
So
Okay.
excited. Woo! So excited.
Both my friends.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
And look,